Well, divorce, we all know it's complicated. It gets even more complicated when children are involved. So when the dust all settles, life goes on, and yes, life changes. So what do you do when you need to modify your orders? Ryan Reppucci and Jonathan Roeder, they're co-founders of Reppucci and Roeder. They're here to help us understand our rights and tips on how to go about it. Gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. Jonathan, I want to start with you. Why is now a good time, if you need to modify any orders, why is now a good time to do that?
Right now is a good time to modify parenting time because for most children, school's letting out for the summer.
Right.
But more importantly, the summer months represent an easier transitional period for children because there's less disruption to their daily activities.
Okay, well that makes perfect sense actually. So, but it's really kind of all about timing, Ryan, and when is it? I mean, is it really timing it now? Because it takes a while for that to happen, potentially, or can it happen that fast?
Yeah, the process itself is unique and it's case-by-case basis. It depends on the specific facts and whether or not there's an emergent need to change or modify the parenting orders. Mm-hmm. But when you're looking to actually modify orders, the first thing you need to do is make a determination whether generally a year has passed since your orders were put into effect. Oh. If a year has not passed, there's some unique set of circumstances that allow you to modify within that year period.
Okay.
But generally, that's the first thing we'll look at. If a year has expired, then you have to demonstrate that there's been what's called a substantial and continuing change of circumstance.
And what are some of the reasons that people want to modify their orders to begin with?
Yeah, to piggyback on what John said, for the summer, we see a lot of scenarios where somebody is, one parent is looking to relocate out of state. Perhaps they got a new job or they're looking to move with a new significant other. Mm-hmm. And you know, after school ends, that's a good time to make that transition.
Sure.
Well, obviously it's no longer logistically possible to have the same parenting plan that you had when the parties lived in the same vicinity with each other. So that's what we would call a non-temporary or more permanent change of circumstance that would allow the court to perhaps modify orders.
Okay.
There's some other circumstances as well.
Because life changes.
Absolutely.
You know, I mean, we all know that, right? How long does it take to have orders modified to begin with, Jonathan?
Well, it really depends. As Ryan stated, circumstances are different between different cases.
Sure.
Right now, my average caseload is taking about 6 to 8 months to litigate through trial.
Wow, really? Okay.
Yes. However, with most of our petitions to modify, we file what we call a motion for temporary orders, which will get us a hearing within 30 days and an order for temporary parenting time shortly thereafter.
Oh, so you can get a temporary change of order? I mean, really, is that actual?
Yes, and under the statute, if we file for temporary orders, even though the process itself might take 6 to 8 months, as John said, to complete itself, you will get an initial hearing within 30 days after filing that petition.
So that's saying that if a parent is relocating, we'll use that as an example, then you can go ahead and do that under a temporary order?
Well, you can request it, and if the court grants that, you certainly can. You can then relocate on a temporary basis.
Okay, all right. What would be your best advice? And I only have about 30 seconds, but parents who are considering requesting a change, what would be your best piece of advice before they do anything?
I guess first thing is to document everything. If you're going to request a change under a substantial and continuing change of circumstance, you got to have everything documented so that you can prove to the judge that a substantial and continuing change of circumstance exists.
Yeah, you've got to be able to explain why.
Exactly.
Okay, all right. Yeah, so you might as well start, right? Start now documenting. Guys, thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Good information.
Pleasure being here.
Yeah, so it's really good information, and it's always important to know what your options are. And here's what's something else you can do. They're offering up a free consultation, so you can go in with your questions. Maybe you want to make that change of order. You can visit Reppucci and Roeder. They're located at 3101 North Central Avenue, that's Suite 1470 in Phoenix. Here's that phone number to call. Set up that free consultation. By the way, you will meet with an attorney. I want to point that out. 480-300-6012. You can learn more at attorneys-arizona.com.